Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Venus, and today I want to talk about all the books that I am going to read or try to read the month of November. So we've got some new releases on here, and I'm finally getting back to fantasy. So there's mostly fantasy on this list. And of course, I'll also still be reading books that I picked out for my fall TBR because we are still in fall in November, even though my brain 100% transfers over to Christmas at the stroke of midnight on November 1st. Anyone else? So first up, let's talk about the new releases that I plan to read. The first one is going to be Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree. This is the prequel to Legends and Lattes, which I loved so much. One of my favorite books from last year. And I don't know too much about this book. I know that it comes out on November 7th, but I have no idea what it's about. So I'm just going to read the Goodreads description. When an injury throws a young, battle-hungry orc off her chosen path, she may find that what we need isn't always what we seek. In Bookshops and Bone Dust, a prequel to Legends and Lattes, New York Times bestselling author Travis Baldree takes us on a journey of high fantasy, first loves, and secondhand books. That sounds fun. I love Travis Baldree's writing, so I cannot wait to read this book. Also coming out on November 7th, of course, is The Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros, which is a sequel to Fourth Wing. I'm looking forward to reading this, interested to see if I'm going to enjoy where this story goes or if I will be DNFing this series. I think it's going to be like a 5-book series or something. I overall enjoyed Fourth Wing. I didn't think it was perfectly written. There was definitely some issues. I'm not really going to get into what Fourth Wing is about. I mean, I think everybody knows at this point. It's a dragon fantasy, young adult, and with some romance. I'm interested to see if I will like this book. So that's on my list as well. And then the third new release that I'm hoping to get to in November, though it comes out November 21st, which is a little later in the month, but we'll see. I also have to probably reread the first couple of books and all of the side books that Brandon Sanderson put out. So the book I'm talking about is Defiant, and this is part of a sci-fi young adult series. What is that series called? Book 4? Oh my God. I just realized I did not read book 3. I did not read Cytonic. Oh God. Okay, so yeah, I probably won't be getting to Defiant in November, but just so you know, Defiant's coming out on November 21st. If you are up to date on this series, sci-fi series by Brandon Sanderson, I've got a lot of catching up to do. Moving on. So in November, I am finally going to read Red Country, which is the third and final standalone that takes place in the First Law world by Joe Abercrombie. Like I've said many times, absolutely love this man's writing. It is grimdark. It is my favorite fantasy subgenre. And I loved all of the books very, very much. I've given them no less than 4 stars, and I can't wait to read this one. I have no idea what it's about. None whatsoever. They burned her home. They stole her brother and sister, but vengeance is following. That's all I need to know. It's fantasy, grimdark, Joe Abercrombie. That's all I need to know. So can't wait to read this in November. The next book I've been seeing everywhere. This is a young adult, I believe, fantasy book, and it's called One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. And I think this is a duology, or I know there's another one. I think it's only 2, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't know much about this, unfortunately. I think there's magic in it, probably some romance. It's fantasy. Everybody loves it. So, of course, I'm going to try. And I am hoping that I love it too. Let's see what this is about. A maiden, I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's long. A maiden must unleash the monster within to save her kingdom in this dark, lush, gothic fantasy debut. A beautifully dark fairy tale of blood, rage, and bitter choice that whisked me away to mist-wreathed woods ripe with romance and menace. That's a blurb by Davinia Evans, author of Notorious Sorcerer. So this is my November TBR too. And finally, I'm continuing on with my reread of the series A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. And I am on a Storm of Swords. This is book 3 in the series. Pretty sure it's one of my favorites. From the first go-around I read it. But this one is the one that has the red wedding in it and all the fun stuff that ensue around that. So I can't wait to jump back into Westeros and all of my favorite characters. This one I probably won't finish in November. I really like to take my time reading these books. There was a huge read along with a lot of fantasy booktubers in the beginning of the year, and I realized I just didn't want to rush through these books. Sometimes they take me more than a month to get through. This one is one of the longer ones out of the series. So I'm going to take my time through this, but I'm definitely going to get it started in November. So that's it for all of the fantasy books that I want to read in November. I, of course, just said that I transitioned very quickly into Christmas spirit time. So I will be picking up quite a few Christmas romance books and doing a Christmas romance reading vlog with the ones that you should pick up and the ones that you shouldn't, because you know I like to DNF books, especially romance. So that's also going to be on the list for November as well. I don't have a list of those books. I have a lot that I've gotten approved for from NetGalley. I know one of them is the new Tessa Bailey romance. I think it's called Wreck the Halls, and I think it's already out too. I just haven't gotten to it, the arc. So I know that's one of them, and I can't remember any of the other ones, but that's what I'll be starting as well. And then, of course, I'm a mood reader, so this could completely change. But those are the hopefuls for the month of November. As always, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you are having a fantastic day. Let me know down below, what are you reading in the month of November? And I will see you guys again soon. See ya.